What's going on, ghosties? Welcome back to Tales of Spooky Coffee House. If you're new here, welcome to the show. I'm Chelsea,
And I'm Veronica.
and we're your hosts. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing our haunted location, the Veronica Motel. Oh, sorry, I mean the Clown Motel.
Wow, fucking hater.
And serial killer of the week, Karla Homolka. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did good.
Okay.
It's not even my serial killer. Yeah, you did great.
I'm telling you, like, it sounds weird to me. I don't know why, okay?
I'm gonna
So,
butcher this name. I'm gonna butcher this name.
and to end the podcast, we're going to have a tarot card reading and a special tarot card reading. So,
Yes.
how you doing? What you drinking?
I'm drinking water because it's currently, as we're recording, 7:46 p.m. and I need sleep.
Bro,
I'm okay.
bro.
You listen, you're different. Bodies fucking take caffeine. Bodies take caffeine different. um I'm still under the weather. Again, if you know, you know. If you don't, don't worry about it. I'll be okay. But I'm seeing a doctor next week, so hopefully I could get fixed up. But yeah, that's just my life. How are you? What are you drinking?
I'm good. I'm drinking pumpkin spice coffee to end my day of carving pumpkins for 5 hours with kids. So,
5 hours with
yeah,
children?
yeah.
Possible. I have pumpkin spice cookies from Trader Joe's.
Yeah, so we actually made some tonight. We had mostly orange pumpkins, but my niece got a yellow one. And so I kept it separate so she could cook that one on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And she made pumpkin cookies and pumpkin breakfast cupcakes, or I guess muffins.
Mm.
And we all think they're great, except for John, who took one bite and literally spit it out, and the look on his face was priceless.
How rude. Well, what was he expecting?
Apparently, not a healthy snack. That's not what he was expecting.
Wow, he was expecting the sugar.
Yeah. And we didn't put much sugar in it. Like, it's she's gonna eat them for breakfast. She doesn't need a sugar rush in the morning.
I'll send John my cookies because I bought these cookies like 2, 3 weeks ago, and it's still practically full because believe it or not, people, I do not have a sweet tooth, and I can't eat these cookies. I literally eat one cookie like either once every other day. Like it's just so hard for me to eat because it's just too sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think they taste great. But so yeah, we did that, and then the rest of the pumpkin I haven't pureed it yet, so it's sitting in the fridge because I was like, I'm over it. And
Mm.
then we had to record and I was already late, so I'll finish tomorrow.
Yeah, you're an hour and 42 minutes late.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? I'm gonna give you guys an idea that my mom loves to make with the pumpkins. And if you guys want to try it, go for it. So what she does is I guess she steams the pumpkin. Is that the right way to say it? Like boiling
Yeah.
it or steaming it? Yeah, so she
Yeah.
does that. And then you take the skin off for this. Well, I guess you don't have to, but we take the skin off and we mush it. We add milk and we add honey. It
Hmm.
it may sound a little weird, but don't knock it till you try it. It's fucking bomb. It's a nice sweet little like snack, or you can even just eat it as a meal because it'll fill you up. It's got milk and it's pumpkin. Is pumpkin a vegetable or a fruit?
I'm pretty sure it's a vegetable.
Because fruits have seeds, right?
Pumpkins have seeds.
Yeah, that's why. Anyways, it don't matter. It's like tomatoes, right? Tomatoes
Yeah,
are like,
tomato, tomato.
yeah. But yeah, try that out. But speaking of sweets, dude, ghosties, if you remember last week, we were talking about the fentanyl crisis.
And how we were gonna
And
bring it up again.
yes, and it's crazy because just in this past week, I came across two news headlines from California that involve the fentanyl crisis that I wanted to share with you. So, one, someone tried sneaking in fentanyl through LAX using candy containers. So, it's very, 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 very important that you guys check your kids' candies this Halloween. It's always been a thing, but like, I think we can all agree that this year
It's
it's
really
it's a little
bad.
bit It's really bad. And also, more sad news to add to that fentanyl crisis. A 2-year-old overdosed on fentanyl and the parents were arrested. And this took place in Northern California. So the first incident, LAX, Los Angeles Airport, and the second one in Northern California, just within this past week. I think these two headlines were like a day apart, honestly.
Wow. That reminds me of last year here. I believe it was here in Fort Wayne. I know it was in northern Indiana, but I think it was Fort Wayne, where a 1-year-old overdosed on fentanyl. And it took until this year, I think it was in June or July, it was one of the J months, for the mother to be charged for the homicide.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And in as of last year, the leading cause of death in northeastern Indiana is fentanyl overdose.
Well, that was last year, you said?
I don't know if that was I don't know if that was just last year's statistic or if that's like the statistic as of like this decade or something.
Yeah.
But also there was a couple. I don't know if it was Fort Wayne, but I know it was Allen County, which is where Fort Wayne is, which is right next to us. A couple was arrested. They had enough fentanyl to kill thousands of people in their house.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people, man? Like, what
I
is
don't know.
like I truly want to know, and this is like making me want to go back to like my psychology classes and shit. But like I truly want to know and understand like why these drug dealers are mixing fentanyl with these other pills or like making them seem like they're other painkillers, for example, knowing that they have fentanyl in it, knowing that most likely people will die. Like, that's
Yeah.
not a drug dealer's mindset. That's like a murderer's, a
And
psychopath's mindset.
what makes me mad is last year in 2001, there was almost 10 million
Excuse
pounds.
me, what? You said last year in 2001. Dude, what year are we
2020.
in? Holy shit.
Last year in 2021, there was over, I believe, 10 million pounds of fentanyl confiscated, like like nationwide. And I don't like. We're gonna talk of politics just for a second.
Mhm,
I don't like my senators for my state. Okay,
mhm,
I I have my reasons, and it has to do with they're Republicans. I don't have a problem with Republicans, but they don't really fight for women's rights like at all.
mhm,
And that really makes me mad because they're all set like on their own thing. Like they can care less. They're not trying to make things better in the state. They're just trying to, better themselves.
mhm.
But one of my senators, I've actually been supporting him in one of his causes, and that's trying to get the Biden administration to take the fentanyl crisis seriously
Mhm.
and stop it at its core when it's coming order. He's trying to make it a national crisis so that way it gets attention, so that way they'll stop it from its source. The Biden administration has been completely ignoring it and saying it's not a national crisis.
I was gonna say I
10
haven't
million
really
pounds.
heard. Yeah, that's wild.
Like, how is that not a crisis? 10 million fucking pounds of this drug was taken last year, and that's not a crisis?
Yeah,
You have babies overdosing on this shit because of their parents. How is this not a crisis?
yeah. And teen after teen. That's all we hear out here on the news.
Yeah,
Yeah, this teen in this LA high school, this teen in this fucking California high school. And like, well, not even high school. Like it even goes down to like middle school, dude.
yeah. There's
I
so
didn't
many
even know what
places.
drugs were in middle school.
Yeah. Well, I did. There are so many places out there are so many places out here though that have already canceled Halloween and trick or treating because of this issue.
Yeah.
Like
If I
like
was a
my
mom and I had kids, like if I was in your position, oh my God, I would just buy my kids candies. Like, let's go get dressed up. We'll go to spooky places and have fun, but we're not trick or treating. Like, I'll
and
just buy you
see,
candy.
that's the best thing though about the town that I'm in is they're very aware and conscious of the issue. Most of the candy in my town for trick or treating is coming from our local church.
Mm,
And you know me, I'm not religious at all, but
you're
the
not?
local the local church, I know a lot of the people there and they're super friendly. They're always helping people. They respect the fact that I don't practice their religion, but they help me out anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been helping them out, and they were like, "Yeah, we're giving everybody candy. Like we're checking everything, getting stuff only from the store. Like nothing is donated this year because they're everybody's so terrified of the issue." And they're like, "The kids need to have normalcy," and they're like, "They can't live in fear." And I was like, "Oh, you guys are so sweet."
The fucking trauma that these children are like, I mean, like us as adults, we know what trauma is, we understand trauma in a way, but like these kids that are like 4, 5, 6, 7, like, going through COVID, going through
Yeah.
shutdown, not being able to go to school, not being able to hang out with their friends and do social activities, and now
Mhm.
like you can't fucking trick or treat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, good for them
Yeah.
to try to give them some kind of normalcy, but I mean, the trauma that these kids, I don't know how they're gonna end up like when they're older. Like, I'm really curious to find out.
That's why I'm really glad that Izzy wasn't in school when COVID hit because she didn't experience that same thing that older kids did.
Yeah,
But also, do you remember when we were younger, like the worst thing that we had to worry about with trick or treating was not to get a razor blade in our candy?
yeah.
Like,
That wasn't that bad.
yeah, right? Like that was the worst thing about trick or treating. Like you had to check for razor blades, but it was so much easier because all you had to do was like squeeze the chocolate. Oh, no razor blade, and then
I'm
you were
so
good to eat it.
stupid. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't that bad. Fucking razor. But like that goes to show like comparing what we had to go through to what these kids like have to worry about.
Yeah, I really don't even think it was that big of a deal. Wasn't it only like not even a not only like a few hundred kids, right? Over like a decade or 2 decades?
I honestly I don't know. I've only gone trick-or-treating once in my life. So wah
That's
wah
right. That's
wah.
right. That's right.
But from what I heard, yeah, it was a thing for a few
I
years.
actually want to check that out now. Okay, so in 2019, 2 Ohio residents found razor blades in their candy.
That's it?
That's it. Razor. There's a thing that says razor blades and Halloween candy: the history of the myth that never happened.
What?
Hold on, I'm clicking on it. It says no child has ever been killed by eating Halloween candy from a stranger. The razor blade myth occurred in 1968 when a 7-year-old was given a candy apple with a razor blade hidden inside.
That's whack.
1968. That was like so long ago.
That totally does not support our argument. I swear it happened, guys.
Less than 100 cases of candy tampering occurred in the 20th century.
Well,
90 instances between 1958 and 1983. Which, you know what? Those were wild times.
yeah, yeah, totally.
So, anyways, let's move on.
So I want to move on from the fentanyl crisis to something more happier, more on a lighter note. So, 4 bodies with their limbs chopped off were found in a river in Oklahoma. the
Shut the fuck up. On a lighter note, she says, 4 bodies with their limbs chopped off.
The 4 men had vanished the week prior after leaving one of the men's homes on bikes around 9 p.m. Police say the men were planning to commit a crime when they left on bicycles. All 4 men were shot and found in a river outside of a city of 11,000 people just south of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Police say the fact that they were dumped in water makes things much more difficult to identify evidence. Police are looking for a missing person who is not a suspect but is just someone they want to talk to. Police also say that that person could be suicidal.
Okay, wait. I got a question. I
Yes.
need clarity. So the 4 men, the 4 bodies that were found,
Mm-hmm.
the men were going to commit a crime. Is that right?
Yeah. How do they know that? I don't know.
Okay, it doesn't matter how they know that, but that is the definition of fuck around and find out.
Damn. Do for real.
They messed with the wrong person.
They really did. They didn't even make it. They all got shot on the head and their limbs were chopped off, brother. Like, what? I remember I watched this. It was on TikTok. And I'll send you the TikToker that, did this whole article thingy. But like I was listening to it and I was like, this could not be real. Like this is so fucking like cartelish.
It really is.
But anyways, I just wanted to get us in a lighter mood. So now to get
Welcome to our podcast where a lighter mood is talking about dismembered bodies.
yes, if you're new here, I'm so sorry. I was joking.
Welcome to our podcast.
Yes. Um, so here's a fun question for everyone, for the ghosties and for you, Chelsea. Comfort food and dessert.
I think my comfort food is Neapolitan ice cream.
Isn't that
And
dessert?
yeah, but it,
No,
like
there's
this
no fucking cheating. Don't fucking pick two
no,
desserts.
I'm not I'm sorry that my comfort food is dessert. I can't help that. But my favorite dessert is I make this really amazing from scratch caramel apple cheesecake.
And why haven't I ever tasted this?
Because I didn't start making it until after I moved out here, and you haven't asked for it.
You never told me about it. What is wrong with you? Keeping
Um,
secrets from me? This is not okay.
I honestly, Veronica, it would be easier to tell you what's not wrong with me than to tell you what's wrong with me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because you're pretty open with the things that are wrong with you on here. I'm just saying.
That's why I said, like, it would be easier to tell you what's not wrong with me because the list would be shorter.
Yeah, one page for sure. For sure.
Oh, probably like half a page.
Well, my comfort food is chicken Alfredo with broccoli.
Oh my god, that sounds so good.
I've been craving it so bad, dude.
I'm craving
So
it now
fucking
too.
bad. And my favorite dessert. That's a hard one because sometimes I'll really crave chocolate and I wouldn't mind like a fucking like slice of chocolate cake or like those chocolate cakey desserts you get at a restaurant.
Yeah.
But you know what? I tried this really good. I shouldn't even bring it up because I don't know the name of it. When I went to Hell's Kitchen in Vegas, they have this dessert. Oh my God. That shit was bomb, bro. And their
Can
mac and
I
cheese.
can I adjust my answer just a little bit?
Yeah.
If I was still living in California, my comfort food would be Monrovia Pizza Company.
Bro, their fucking chicken Alfredo. Bro.
Yeah, I'll eat
Guess
anything
how
from
much it
there.
is. Guess how much it is
I don't
for
want to
just a
fucking
chicken
know.
Alfredo.
I don't want to know.
Are you sure?
Tell me.
$16.
Oh my god.
$16 for chicken Alfredo. I think that's just the Alfredo, but you add chicken and it's more.
Dude, out here, I could literally get all you can eat buffet for that much.
Yeah, well, welcome to California. Okay, my next question for you, because I have a funny story. When was the last time you got spooked out? Like you just had a little jump scare, a little, oh my God.
Actually last night.
Really? Do tell.
So, John and I have been watching this new TV show on Netflix called The Midnight Club.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It is really good. And it was late. We were getting ready for bed, and I was watching, but I was like trying not to fall asleep while watching, so you kind of like were in and out.
Mm.
And at the very end of the episode, like I wasn't expecting it. I was not expecting it. I was cuddled, I was comfortable, I was getting ready to fall asleep. I knew the episode was about to end. And then all of a sudden, here comes the scary old lady just pops out of nowhere. And I literally half asleep, half asleep, dude. I was like, oh my God. I woke John out of his sleep because he fell asleep. I woke him up and he's like, "What?" And I was like, "God damn it." I was like, "I think I'm done for the
I think I'm done, man.
night." But
That's funny.
I literally watched because there's only 10 episodes of the season, and I literally watched 7 episodes of it without flinching. And then all of a sudden, I'm
I
half
think it was
asleep.
because you were half asleep, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. He was laughing his ass off at me. I was like, "Shut up."
Dude, I started fucking smiling as soon as you started telling your story. Like, this is funny. So for me, this happened like a couple nights ago, I think. Everything was off in my room, and I was laying in bed. And ghosties, don't come for me. I know y'all bitches do this too. I was like, kind of like daydreaming. Uh, maybe I shouldn't have asked this question. Um, I was daydreaming myself being part of like a ghost hunt type thing with Sam and Kobe just because I've been watching them a lot because they have like Hell Week going on YouTube. Shut the fuck up. They have
No,
Hell
the
Weeks.
way that the way that you were like, maybe I shouldn't have told this story. And then you're like, I was daydreaming about ghost hunting. That is not what I thought your answer was going to be.
Oh. Anyways, so I was like picturing myself ghost hunting with Sam and Kobe just because I've been watching them a lot. And so like I'm like like I'm putting myself in like spooky situations in my head or whatever. And then by mind you, I'm already like I'm trying to fall asleep. So I'm like falling asleep thinking about this. And then out of nowhere I hear like a loud knock in my room or like on the wall. Bro, I jumped and I was like, man, and I started laughing like I'm so stupid, like what the like I actually scared myself, like I freaked myself out. Anyways, but
I did that while we were recording once. Do you remember?
when you were hearing shit.
I didn't hear shit. I was talking to you and I looked over and I looked in the mirror, or not the mirror, but the window, and I saw my reflection. I forgot my windows, my blinds were open.
Oh my god,
When I just saw a face looking at me, I was like, oh shit.
glad you said it, not me. My mirror is right next to me too, but I've never scared myself. I always look and I'm like, what's up?
Yeah, I usually have my blinds closed though while we record, and I forgot to do it that night. And yeah.
I cannot with you. Welcome to our podcast. Also, can I give a random shout out really quick?
Yeah.
Hi Taylor, I love you. Hope you're having a good day.
Love you too.
Drive safely.
Okay, I have a question for you.
What do you want?
Have you ever consumed so much alcohol that you passed out?
No. No, I have
You're
not.
you're such a goody two shoes. I
No,
love
I mean
it.
I've gotten fucked up. Like, dude, okay, I was that kid, not kid, I don't say kid. I was that teenager. I was that youngin. I was that person before I turned 21. I was that person that would like I would have kickbacks at my house, right? And
I definitely remember your quinceañera.
oh, that's just a whole different story. I remember chugging a Modelo in my room, dude. I was like, and so okay. I used to drink Four Locos. Like I used to chug them though. I didn't drink them. I chugged them, and I think the most I did was like one and a half because one Four Loco, one tall can was enough, and that shit fucking got me fucked up. But also like the hangover after a Four Loco, it ain't it. It ain't it. I've never had a Four Loco since. I can't even drink Mike's Hard Lemonade. For a long time, and I'm saying like years, I could not drink regular lemonade just because it reminded me so much of Mike's Hard Lemonade. But no, I've never consumed so much alcohol that I passed out. I'm assuming you have.
Technically like 1.5 times.
Explain the half one.
So like a couple months ago, it might have been a year now. I went to the club with my friends. Not to the club, just to the bar. We just went to the bar. And I blacked out for like half an hour,
Huh.
and when I woke up, like the last thing I remember, my friends were getting me drinks that night, and I had like 4 or 5 trash cans. That's what they're called. That's what the drinks are called. And all I remember is this girl just like made friends with us, and she was with a bunch of other people, and they joined us and they bought us shots. They're like, "You guys are so cool. Like we really appreciate you. Here's shots." Well, 3 shots later, I don't remember what happened after that.
Weak.
I had I had a lot, okay? And I remember that we went to the dance floor after the 3rd shot, and then they told me what happened after that. But when I woke up, I was in the car. Apparently, I had fallen asleep.
Osco, see, this is why I don't black out. Because I've heard some people's like blackout stories, and no, that shit's scary.
This is my half one though. But so it was only like half an hour, and I passed out in the car. And then when I woke up, like a bunch of drama was going on. I was like, "What's going on? I don't know what's happening."
Yeah, it's not a night out if there's no drama.
Yeah. Yeah, my the first time that I blacked out for like the whole night, I woke up with no pants on, and we're gonna leave it at that.
All right, period.
That was my first and my last college party.
You know, I never partied in college.
I was in high school.
Oh, yeah, I did my dude. I mean, no,
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean,
Yeah, I don't
moving
know what you're
on.
talking about. Yeah, so my next question for you is what music instrument has the most annoying sound to you? Like your personal.
Uh, your mouth.
Oh, you're saying I'm a musical instrument? There's a
Oh,
compliment in there.
horrible one. I don't know. That's a good question because I'm a musical person and I love music.
I know. I know. I knew it was going to be challenging.
I knew it can be challenging. I guess the one I don't know. I feel like the one like the the thing with the thing, you know, and you hold it in each hand and you go blah, you know,
Um,
the thing that the monkeys hold. Ew. Yo, there's a balloon deflating somewhere. Yeah.
uh,
So Chelsea just Googled it. It's symbols, but I think that one is the most annoying to me.
the triangle is the most annoying for me.
Oh, the triangle's cute though.
I don't know, it's got a tone that I can't fucking
Bitch,
stand.
you have a fucking tone. All right.
But no, every time like somebody hits the triangle, like it's I don't know, it's like a weird tick because every time I hear it, my fist automatically like punches out.
Mm.
And I don't know, it's just really weird. It pisses me off.
Also, I don't know if it's because I've been more sober recently, but I've been cussing a lot this episode. I apologize, and I will try to get myself together. Okay? Because this is not me.
Yes, it is. It's sober you.
Shut the fuck up.
Anyways, you want to get us into the haunted location of the week?
Fuck yeah, I do. All right, ghosties. So,
That lasted 2 seconds.
um, this week I am talking about the Clown Motel. I'm so excited because Chelsea loves clowns. And I'm actually going to the Clown Motel, hopefully December, January, with my dear friend Z. Z, I told you I don't want you to listen to this segment, so please skip through because I don't need you to chicken out. Okay? Because while I was doing my research, I kind of want to chicken out. Just because I'm like, my brain just started thinking, okay, so I did my research at night. So then obviously, like, I feel like I could speak for many of us. I overthink mostly at night, right? So at night, I'm like, oh, we're never gonna go ghost hunting ever again. That shit's so scary. Why would someone do that? And then during the day, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go ghost hunting. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
So basically, during the day, you're the cliche white girl in every horror movie, and at
No,
night,
because you know what? I'm a down ass fool, okay? I've actually done ghost hunting at night, so I know I'm capable of it. I know I love it. But for some reason, when I overthink about it, I'm like, oh my God. And I'll tell you why I'm afraid or like what I was thinking about, like what I don't want to see when I go. That made me like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
okay.
Anyways, the Clown Motel. The Clown Motel is located in Tonopah, Nevada. I'm gonna butcher this name. And it's something and it is something out of Chelsea's nightmares. It was built in 1985. Do you like what I did there? It was built
Yeah.
in 1985 by Leona and Leroy David in memory of their father, Clarence David, who is a clown lover and left a collection of 150 clowns in his home. The siblings decided to use them as a theme and focal point of their motel in memory of their father. The Clown Motel is also known as, and this could be, I don't know, argumentative, America's Scariest Motel. I don't know. Well, motel, okay, maybe. Hotel, definitely not. In 1995, Bob Perchetti bought the motel and operated it for 22 years until 2017 when he put the property up for sale for $900,000. Easy, pocket money, pocket change. 2 years later, the property was purchased by Vijay Mahar, who appointed his former art director family friend, Haim Anand, as CEO, who gave a new facelift to the motel and increased the collection from 600 clown statues to over 2,000 pieces of clown memorabilia. Chelsea, can you imagine being in a motel with
Nope.
over 2,000 clowns?
Nope.
2001, including you. The Tonopah Cemetery is only a few feet away from the Clown Motel and is most likely the source of the paranormal activity that people have experienced at the motel. The famous cemetery next door to the Clown Motel was founded in 1901 but was closed just 10 years later. This actually reminds me of the cemetery by Tombstone, Arizona, which is not, I don't think it's something I'm gonna talk about this season. I would love to talk about it next season. So yeah. Among those buried are the victims of the 1905 Tonopah plague, was started as chest pains led to death within a number of hours, and dissections carried out to understand the horrific disease found that the livers of the victims were completely black and hard like stone. Ew. The cause of the disease was accepted to be pneumonia caused by poor sanitation. Sheriff Thomas Logan, who was shot while trying to save others in a local brothel, is also buried at this cemetery. Among others, there's also George Devil Davis, the first African American man in Tonopah. He was murdered by his wife, who shot him in the back, although served a prison sentence of only 1 year due to the extensive abuse he'd inflicted upon her. In the early hours of February 23rd, a fire was identified deep in the Belmont mine. Newspapers of that day reported it had started at the 1,166-foot level. William F. Big Bill Murphy was among the men who volunteered to go down and load up the miners. Down he went, returning to the surface with a cage of rescued men. For a second time, he went into the now smoke-filled pit to rescue his colleagues. Despite the fumes, he was determined to go down for a third time, but it took a little longer for the cage to return to the surface. Eventually, the cage emerged, full of weary men, but no Bill. One of the semi-conscious men said someone had fallen out of the cage on his ascent. Everyone knew it was Bill. His last known words before his final descent were, "Well, boys, I've made 2 trips and I'm nearly all in, but I'll try again." That's so sad. In total, 17 men lost their lives that day, including 28-year-old Bill. Oh my gosh, he was 28. I can't. I'm about to be 28 in like 2 months. Whose grave in Tonopah Cemetery reads, "Died while saving others." A monument to Bill stands outside Tonopah Post Office. There is also a mural depicting his funeral procession on the side of a Bar L Western store. Paranormal activity that has been captured includes a shadow man. Those are never good. Clowns moving on their own. Oh, you'd love that. Clear EVPs, footsteps, knocking, voices coming from empty rooms, and guests have also stated that they hear scratches on the wall.
Clowns are already bad enough, but you're just adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm like getting a little nervous about staying here, and I'm still gonna do it, and I really look forward to doing this, but I was like, okay, if the ghosts of these surrounding events that are buried in the cemetery that's right next to the motel is what's haunting the motel, what if I wake up and I see like someone standing there, but like it's like a burnt body
Oh,
or
oh God. I just
like
got
you
that
know what I
big
mean?
image in my head. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
my head.
exactly. Like that's what I'm scared of, bro. Like Oscar. Like that's what I was kind of scared about that going to Tombstone with Stephanie and we stayed in that haunted Airbnb. Like fuck, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna find a bitch in my face. But luckily I slept through the night because we had a lot of wine. But anyways, that is the Clown Motel ghosty. Fun. And yes, you could get a room there and stay there. I think I want to kind of vlog my experience when I go.
Definitely
Maybe I'll
do
do
it,
that.
dude.
Yeah, so you guys
It
can
doesn't
see
even it
what.
doesn't even have to be it doesn't even have to be for the podcast, just be for like you and stuff. Like that would be
Oh
so
my
cool.
God, I'm gonna become a fucking ghost hunter. Say less. Are the kids still saying that? Say less. Anyways.
Oh my God, we just turned into our parents. Are the kids still saying that?
Asko. My friend, I have a friend, well, a questionable friend. Her name's Lisha. She doesn't listen to this podcast. I wish she did so she could hear me talking shit about her. She's 24, but oh my God, this bitch is annoying, dude. Straight up fucking Gen Z. She's like, oh my God, period. Oh my God, purr. Oh my God. What is it? What do they say? Wow, fuck. What did she say?
But do you know how we can tell that we're millennials?
How?
Like, oh, I don't like
First
I
of
don't.
all, yeah. Dude, okay. I don't know if you want to keep this, but Chelsea and I were having a conversation via Messenger. It was like voice message, and I made the mistake of like hearing back what I sent you, and sure enough, like every fucking other word, like, and I was making fun of
Do
you
you
for
want to
your
know what's
accent.
funny? Do you want to
What's
know what's funny?
funny? What?
When I teach you how to edit the podcast, you're gonna have no idea how many times I remove like and from our sentences.
Wow. Well, they will never know. They will never know how bad it is. You know what?
It's
Remember when we
bad.
did the
It's
no
bad.
edit? Remember when we did the no edit, no cut episode? We should do another one like that, like a challenge.
But also, didn't we record that episode like
I don't know. I don't remember.
with
It was a long time
technical
ago.
difficulties? Yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna have to find that episode actually. That's kind of that's I don't know. I
Do,
remember we had fun. We had fun with that because
do
we
you
were
remember
both
which
like
episode it was?
no, that's why I have to go back and find it.
Before we jump into the serial killer of the week, I just got a notification. One of our authors, Sarah Penner, who
Uh-huh.
wrote the
Lost Apothecary.
Apothecary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you that did a book talk Tuesday on the Lost Apothecary, we're still gonna do those. We've just been having some issues with up the videos and stuff. So we're still gonna do them. We're just trying to like troubleshoot everything before we jump back in.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lost Apothecary has a second book coming out for those of you that didn't know. And I wanted to share this with you, Veronica. It says, here's 10 things that you'll find in the London Seance Society.
Okay.
An abandoned chateau, a library of books, an All Hallows Eve soiree, girls kissing girls, not one but two unsolved murders, a love note meant to be found, the
Ooh.
seven stages of an ancient devil's incantation, parlors shrouded in black lace. Ooh, at the end, recipes.
Yeah, you know what I just noticed, and I
What?
hate myself for this. I was trying to reread The Lost Apothecary because I absolutely love that book and I just want to reread it. And Z has all of my books. So I went on the Libby app, I checked it out. And so I think it was in the very beginning or at the very end because I had read it on the Libby app too. Whenever I read a book, I like having it on the app just because like whenever I don't have my book on me, I could just read it on the app or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't remember if it was the beginning or the end, but I realized that she actually put the recipe for a lot of these poisons in that book. I was like, girl,
Yeah.
what are you
Yeah.
doing?
She's the new Julia Tofana.
Yeah, but she's good. She because it's just a book.
Yeah.
She ain't
It's
doing
totally
nothing.
fiction. It's
Yeah,
totally fiction.
of course.
That reminds me
Wink.
of my book.
That you haven't fucking finished.
No, the one that I published.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, the serial killer of the week is Karla Homolka. So Karla was born on 4th, 1970 in Ontario, Canada. Is this the first Canadian serial killer we've done?
I think so.
I think so.
Sorry,
So
Canada.
you listen to us, but we haven't done a segment on you. Well, now
They're
we
just
are.
too nice. They're too nice.
I don't know if you're that. So she was married to Paul Bernardo, who was her accomplice in the murders, or vice versa. They married in 1991. When it was all said and done, she was convicted of 2 counts of manslaughter in 1993, and her crimes took place between December 1990 and April 19th, 1992. She was sentenced to 12 years in prison and was released in 2005. Together, the couple is known as the Barbie and Ken murderers.
What?
Yes. And if you haven't already, check out our Instagram because I'm gonna post a picture of the two of them together, even though I'm only doing Carla's like side of things. But they really do look like Barbie and Ken.
I'm gonna have to check this post out. Well, I probably already have, but
I'll
at
send
this
it to you
point,
before.
yeah, sorry.
So victim number one was Tammy Homolka, and Tammy was Carla's younger sister. Paul became attracted to her in 1990, which he did later confirm. In July of that same year, Carla stole Valium from her workplace, which was a veterinary clinic, and they drugged Tammy's dinner and allowed her husband to rape her younger sister for about a minute before she woke up.
Wait, the sister was involved in drugging her own sister
Yes,
and allowed her to get raped by her husband?
yes.
What in the fuckery?
There was a quote saying that she was trying to keep the violence in the family.
Um, okay.
So nothing became of this incident, and in December of the same year, Carla stole an animal tranquilizer from work and they drugged Tammy again. From what I read, it was not just Paul, but both of them that raped her while she was unconscious.
What?
She later died from choking on her own vomit and never regained consciousness before passing at the hospital.
What the fuck?
Her death was ruled an accident.
No. How is that?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. When was this?
1990.
Nah, because they need to open that shit. They need to open that case again.
Well, it was ruled an accident. That's not her sister was not one of the I don't know about Paul. Like I said, I didn't look into him. I only looked into Carla, but she was not charged with her sister's murder.
Wow.
So, victim number 2 is Jane Doe. On July 7th, 1991, Carla invited a 15-year-old girl. She had been friends with this girl for over 2 years and videotaped them sexually assaulting her. She would not remember what happened, which led to Carla and Paul having the opportunity to invite her over again, where they proceeded to do the same thing. Only this time, Carla called 911 for help after Jane Doe vomited and stopped breathing. They were able to resuscitate her, and since her name is still not released to the public, it's safe to assume that she did survive.
Wait. Sorry for continuing to interrupt you. So you're telling me that Carla and her boo had this girl come over, did things to her. She didn't remember. Therefore, they took an opportunity to get her to come over again just to do the same shit all over again to her.
Yes.
But as soon as she stopped breathing, they were concerned for her well-being and called 911.
Yes.
Why? Oh, all right, continue.
Jane Doe would be the only victim to survive.
But she wouldn't remember anything, huh?
I don't know. She wouldn't remember about the first time. It was Carla and Paul that told police about it.
Mm,
But like I said, her name is still Jane Doe. Like nobody knows who she is.
yeah.
So the third victim was Leslie Mahaffey. On the morning of June 15th, 1991, Paul was stealing license plates in Burlington when he saw 14-year-old Leslie standing outside of her home. She had missed curfew after attending a funeral and was locked out. Paul claims she asked him for a cigarette, which he claimed to have in his car. This gave him the opportunity to blindfold and kidnap her. Again, the couple videotaped themselves raping and torturing her. The videotape was shown in court where everyone could hear her begging them to stop with her hands bound by twine. Worried that she would identify them and turn them over to the police, the couple dismembered her body and encased each body part in a block of cement. Paul kept the receipts, which were later used as evidence in court. One of the blocks, which is said to have weighed about 200 pounds, was too heavy for them to throw into Lake Gibson, which is where all the other body parts are. And so it was left close to shore, where it was found by a man and his son who were out fishing. Leslie's dental records were the only thing that could identify her body.
And she was 14.
She was 14. The fourth and last victim was Kristen French. Kristen was walking home from school on April 16th, 1992, when Carla stopped her holding a map and claiming to be lost. While Kristen was helping her find her way on the map, Paul snuck up behind her with a knife. He forced her into the front seat of their car, and Carla subdued her by pulling her hair from the back seat. Police were notified about her disappearance quickly when her parents called after she was 15 minutes late getting home. Despite the parents letting police know 15 minutes after her kidnapping, or like when she was supposed to be home,
Mm-hmm.
they were not successful in finding her in time. Carla and Paul spent the entire Easter weekend videotaping themselves torturing and raping Kristen. Each had a different story about why Kristen was killed, but her body was found on April 30th and she had been washed and her hair was cut off. It was originally believed that the hair was removed as a trophy, but Carla testified it was to impede identification.
This is giving me like I don't know if you've come across these TikToks. It was like a trend where they're like, "Oh, an old lady is like asking for help in the parking lot because she can't like I don't know put away her own groceries or some shit." And then they're like, anything's like a sex trafficking tactic nowadays. Like, but like
Yeah.
you just can't trust everyone or anyone, dude.
Yeah. This next part is about the publication ban and the plea bargain. So, on July 5th, 1993, the Canadian Crown invoked a publication ban on anything to do with Carla and Paul's crimes. Many argued this decision, and while Canadians could not publish anything, that didn't stop the fucking Americans from doing it themselves.
A
Because another country's ban does not apply to another, and Americans who published on this story made sure to specifically cite the First Amendment right.
Mm-hmm.
These publications became widely distributed and caused problems for the Canada and US border, where officers had to confiscate all extra videotapes, newspapers, and basically like any extra publications that were being brought in. So they were allowed like one because, that's their property. They were only allowed to bring in one. They weren't allowed to bring in extra copies. The public was also banned from the court hearings of both Paul and Karla. So the controversy surrounding the plea bargain that was given to Karla was pretty valid. She originally claimed that she was forced into doing the crimes by her abusive husband, who would beat her into compliance. However, after the videotape surfaced and showed Karla as a willing participant, the public was outraged at her being given the plea deal. Paul's opposing lawyers argued that they needed her crimes to be minimal to protect her credibility as a key witness in Paul's trial, which, because of it, it was. When analyzed by professionals using the psychopathy checklist test, Karla scored a 5 out of 40, whereas Paul scored a 35 out of 40. After being evaluated again, many speculate that Karla suffers from hybristophilia, which basically means that she is sexually aroused by a partner's violent sexual behavior.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you talked about the sister. Like she
Yeah,
gets a kick out of seeing her husband like
be violent with somebody else.
yeah.
Yeah. So this has not been proven, but it is widely believed. So it is not an actual fact, but I thought it was interesting to bring to light. So we're going to talk about her release. While Paul received a lifetime in prison sentence, Karla was released in 2005 after serving her 12 years. During those 12 years, she had relocated to several prisons due to death threats. Still, she was able to obtain her bachelor's in psychology from Queen's University,
What?
which caused a storm in the media. She was required to pay all her fees, but Karla later admitted that she did receive some financial assistance
From?
from the government.
Dude, okay. You let this fucking psycho out of prison after only 12 fucking years.
She got her bachelor's while in prison.
Okay, well, good for her, but nonetheless, she got fucking released.
Yeah. Before she was released, Karla did apply to be moved to a halfway house in 1999, and reporter Michelle Shepard from the Toronto Star was able to publish the story literally hours before the courts issued another publication ban. This led to Karla suing the government when her application to the halfway house was denied. Karla did not apply for parole during her incarceration because she was deemed a risk to reoffend because of her attraction to violent criminals, which was further proved by her sexual relationship with convicted murderer Jean Paul Gerbert, who is serving a life sentence. When released, certain restrictions were placed on Karla as a condition of her release, which was punishable by a max of 2 years prison time if ever violated. At the time, Senator Michael Byron declared the terms to be totalitarian, but 2 weeks later he apologized for the statement. It's safe to assume the public probably ate him alive for that. So here were the terms of Karla's release. She was to tell police her home address, work address, and whom she lives with. She was required to notify police as soon as any of the above changed. She was also required to notify police of any change to her name. If she planned to be away from her home for more than 48 hours, she had to give a 72 hours notice. She could not contact Paul Bernardo, the families of Leslie and Kristen, or that of the woman known as Jane Doe, or any violent criminals as well. She wasn't allowed to contact any violent criminals. She was forbidden to be with people under the age of 16. She was forbidden from consuming drugs other than prescription medicine. She was required to continue therapy and counseling, and she was required to provide police with a DNA sample.
Even though there's all these little fucking rules, it just goes to show how fucked up our system is. You're gonna
Oh,
fucking tell this fucking psycho, oh, you're not allowed to talk to these victims. Like, what's stopping her? What if she doesn't give a fuck?
it gets better.
Oh, God, okay.
So Karla had a difficult time settling down. By the end of 2005, the restrictions placed on her were lifted by Superior Court Judge James Brutton, who claimed there was not enough evidence to support them. Citizens of Ontario urged the Supreme Court to appeal this decision, but it did not go through. This decision occurred after her at-the-time boss revealed her address to the media and alleged that Karla had violated the terms of her release by contacting someone with a criminal record. The boss also alleged that Karla had come into contact with children.
See?
So, after breaking the requirements, they lifted the restrictions because that makes sense, right?
Either way, you said that if she violated any of these, it would only be a 2-year sentence.
Yeah.
This pisses me off.
Yeah. In 2006, Carla tried to have her name legally changed, but it was rejected. Then it was reported in 2007 that she gave birth to a baby boy, and several nurses had refused to give her care before the birth. It was for this reason that she would leave Canada to lead a more normal life.
No, don't tell me she's here.
No, she's not here.
Okay.
This didn't work out well for her. She ended up in Quebec, where in 2014 false rumors were started that she was in a relationship with Luca Magnotta during his first-degree murder trial. He denied all claims, but that didn't stop the rumors from damaging her reputation once again. In 2016, parents expressed concerns when Carla's child began attending school. Despite reassurances from the school and school board, it was not easy. Carla petitioned many times to have publication of her whereabouts banned, but the court ruled against her each time. In a quote, she claimed this: "At the time, I was 17 years old. I lacked knowledge. I feared being abandoned. I was desperate for a relationship. I lacked confidence. There are numerous aspects of myself that I was unaware of at the time, but am now aware of."
Mm-mm.
Paul continues to confess to more crimes while serving his life sentence. Therefore, it's conceivable that the true extent of Carla's crimes never came to light. This concerns the public, which has caused them to still publish her whereabouts. She was finally able to legally change her name and now lives in Quebec with her husband. I'm going to butcher his name, I'm sorry. Diary Bordalis,
Mm-hmm.
and their 3 children, which, by the way, get this, just to throw another plot twist out there before I end the segment. Her husband is her former lawyer's brother. Yeah. They got
Stop.
together shortly after her release in 2005.
Stop. This serial Canada. Canada.
Canada's really nice, but when they go evil, they go hardcore.
Oh yeah.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
On a much lighter note, Veronica, are you ready to get called out?
Yeah, I am actually.
All right, ghosties. This week's tarot reading, like we promised, is the tarot reading for November. Card number 1 represents what the challenge is for this month. Card number 2 is positive energies that we can embrace. Card 3 is negative energies that we need to negotiate. Card 4 is what do we need to make time for. Card 5 is what opportunity we should seize this month. So card number 1 is the 6 of Wands. We are reaching victory and achieving recognition. We have fans and well-wishers and a crowd of supporters. We are winning battles that we've set out, and we are strong and stable. Not quite sure how that's a challenge.
Well, let's see. What is the challenge for this month? I think the challenge is to take advantage of that support that we have that we might not, fully recognize that we have and do something with it.
It's also saying that we're reaching the success, so maybe we need to push that little bit harder to achieve what we're working towards.
Yeah. So it's not a bad challenge. It's a very let's continue to push ourselves to succeed or overcome whatever it is that we're overcoming or that we need to overcome because we have the support there. So let's take advantage of that.
Awesome. So card number 2 is positive energies that we can embrace. And this comes through the Queen of Wands reversed. It's the time to focus on our self-confidence and self-esteem. We're feeling exhausted, jealous, and burnt out. We need to bring our attention inwards and reestablish ourself.
I just got slapped in the face by that card.
I know, I did too.
I'm not jealous. I'm happy for everyone.
I'm feeling burnt out and exhausted, so
I am as well with my job, so yeah. Cozy's hanging there. We're okay. We got this. We'll get through this together.
we're only on card number 2.
I know.
All right, card number 3 are negative energies we need to negotiate, and this comes through the 5 of Cups reversed. We're ready to move on. We need to let go of sorrow, accept help, and rejoin the world. We need to let go of what no longer serves us.
Stop. Okay. All right.
I don't know about you, dude, but I
No,
like
dude. No, I know. I know. I know.
When I said, "Are you ready to get called out?" I didn't want it to be literally.
What the fuck,
I just
Chelsea?
I just wanted to be funny.
Well, fuck you. You're not funny.
Because did you get my joke? I said on a much lighter note because of your joke earlier about the dismembered bodies, and I
Yeah,
just
no, I got it. I
it's
got
not
it.
funny
Trust
now.
me.
It's not funny now.
I thought we were gonna have a good time. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, cool, a lighter note. Yeah, let's do it. Tarot reading. Okay. I think my lighter note was better than this.
I think
Four
yours was just
bodies were found with their limbs cut off in a river.
I think yours was just funnier because it ended with a fuck around and find out, and ours are just like it's just being called out. It's not fun.
It's not.
So card number 4 is what we need to make time for, and this comes through the Justice card. We need to understand that a fair and just outcome will follow our actions. We have nothing to worry about if we have acted for our higher self. If you haven't already, you will be called out and made up to own your own actions. So what do we need to make time for, ghosties? We need to make time for being called out.
Yeah, we need to make time to. It's pretty much telling us that, actions speak louder than words. And once we finally start acting, it's gonna bring success or, happiness or whatever it is that, you're working on. So, yeah, I get it. Okay. Get it.
So card number 5, what opportunity should we seize this month? And
Oh,
this
this is
comes
the last
through
card. Thank God.
I feel like this is the worst one though. This comes
No.
through the Kings of Cup reversed. We are overly emotional, overwhelmed, and anxious. We need to focus our attention inside and not let our emotions control our life. So, Veronica, apparently you and I are letting our emotions control our life right now.
Well, you know what? I have a lot of emotions, okay? Fuck.
This is not fun.
I know. What the
So,
fuck, November? Fuck. Shit. You're just supposed to give us advice, not fucking be mean. Fucking bully.
all right. So, our next tarot reading is a bonus one, and we are doing this reading for our listener, Susie.
Oh,
She
thank
has
God. Better you than me, Susie. Better you than me.
the cards are not holding back today.
Do for real.
So, Susie has requested a clarity reading, and this is a 4-card spread. Card number 1 is what you need to know. Card number 2 is what you need to embrace. Card number 3 is what you need to release. And card number 4 is what's next. So, card number 1, what you need to know, comes through the card 7 of Swords. There is deception around you, or someone is getting in the way of something. It's important to be resourceful and have open and honest discussions. You need to stay away from things that feel suspicious or too good to be true. But you also need to keep in mind that acting tactically can only be advantaged to so much of a certain degree.
I feel like I don't need to comment on that. That was very
Yeah.
straightforward.
All right. 2 is what you need to embrace, and this comes through the 8 of Cups. You're walking away from situations and abandoning plans. It's either because you're disappointed or you've reached your limit. You have strength and courage to move away from situations that no longer serve you, and this is a good time to embark on adventure, self-discovery, and searching for a deeper truth within yourself.
All
So what
right.
do you need
See,
to embrace? Yourself.
independency.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Independency.
Is that a word?
I don't think so.
Shut up. Shut up.
Independence is
Independences. Jesus.
independency.
Move on. Move on. Move on. This is no. We're professionals.
Professionals.
Professionals. Jesus Christ.
All right. Card number 3 is what you need to release, and this comes through the Devil card. You're being seduced by the material world and physical pleasures. You're probably at the effect of negative habits, behaviors, and addictions, and it represents your shadow or darker side that are at play. You need to use discretion in your personal and business matters and try to let go of fear. So, what do you need to release? Whatever it is that you fear the most. Whatever scares you, just push through it. Believe me, it's hard as fuck to do, and I've done it, and I support you 100%.
I've done it without, how do I say this? Without having a choice, like shit in my life had happened and yeah. But
It's always better to face your fear while you have the chance instead of waiting until you no longer have a choice, because it's even harder then.
My mom told me once, and I'm sure I've said this before on this podcast, but she was like, "You'll never get anywhere if you let fear get in your way."
I feel like that's all what all parents say.
But it's true.
Yeah, it's
It's true
totally
because
definitely
like
true. Yeah, it's sound
I've I've
advice.
allowed I've allowed my anxiety to get in the way of new jobs, school, new friends, dating,
Oh,
like, you know
same,
what I mean?
same.
So,
Like let me tell you a story, Susie, so that way you understand. Like, because Veronica, I'm sure, can tell you since you're near her. But I was so scared to get a new job and take a risk and do what I love, which what I love is writing and editing. And it takes a lot to build up credibility as a writer and editor. And I never let myself do that because I was scared of it. But this year, I quit 2 jobs and have been freelance writing and editing and making a full-time living off of it, doing what I love because I faced my fear, because I took the chance and focused all of my attention on it. So
and
I
even
like,
then,
yeah.
even though it's working out now, it was kind of rough in the beginning. It's not
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
an easy transition. I don't think anything is easy, in fucking life. Yeah, I don't think anything in life is easy, but I think if you continue to push through, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. And Chelsea's speaking from her work, so there could for you it could be in a different like aspect or whatever, but
I've done it in relationships too. If that's what you're going through, I get it. Veronica knows.
Veronica knows. All right, let's do card number 4.
All right, card number 4 is what's next, and this comes through the Hierophant reversed. So, what's next? You need to remember that all the wisdom that you seek comes from within, and you follow your own path and adopt your own spiritual belief systems rather than blindly following others. Wow, if that's not a good what's next card, I don't know.
Yeah.
On that note, I think I think we're done. Yeah, Veronica?
Yeah,
Anything you want to
yeah.
add? Okay.
No, good luck, Susie. I hope whatever it is that you're going through, I hope it all works out. And I hope you find the strength, and I hope you know that you are a powerful, independent woman and you got this, whatever it is that you're going through.
All right, ghosties, thank you for joining us this week. Make sure to give us a follow on our social media. If you want to take a reading from us, feel free to DM us and we'll choose one lucky person a week. We are your hosts. I'm Chelsea.
No, I'm Veronica.
Don't dismember any bodies this weekend, but still have a great one and a spectacular Halloween. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Halloween. Bye.